All right, folks, just out on a sunny walk in my hometown of Runcorn, which is much maligned, I think, mostly by people who live here. Unfortunately, I was trying to be all professional today. I brought me gimbal and everything, which I bought ages ago, but I don't really use it because it's quite big. I need to get something a bit smaller. You know, I like to just go out and film nights out and stuff. It's quite cumbersome, is the word, just to show me intellect there. So yeah, I thought I'll go for a little walk around Runcorn, just to show you a little bit of it and see what you think of it, because it gets a lot of stick, Runcorn. Bizarrely enough, mostly by people who live here. It's just like it's an industrial town. That's what it's known as. It's like known as an industrial town on the outskirts of Liverpool. It's like 15-20 minutes away from Liverpool, but it's actually, what people don't know, is actually quite a historic town. So it dates back to like the 9th century. You can tell I've been polishing up on my history, can't you? So yeah, it's really historic, and it was actually set up as a fortification. You can so tell that I've been Googling, but it's like a fort to keep the Vikings out, because the Vikings invaded England, or whatever it was, Englandinium, whatever it was known as back then. And Runcorn was set up as a bit of a fort to stop the Vikings coming in there, raping and pillaging and setting things on fire and just having big beards and eating raw cows, whatever it is they did. So yeah, I thought we'll go on a little historic walk around a place called Whig Island, which is pretty nice, and just show you what Runcorn's really like, and then you can decide whether you think it's rubbish or not. So come along. So you can possibly just see, well, maybe not actually, over in the distance there is the Runcorn Bridge. In fact, you maybe see it a bit better there. That was built, it's actually called the Jubilee Bridge, or the Runcorn Widnes Bridge, depending on, or Widnes Runcorn Bridge. But it was opened like by the Queen in 1960. There was originally a transporter bridge there, which was just like a bridge on like pulleys that would take the cars over to the other side to Widnes. But obviously, as the town got more popular, then that became too busy, so they opened up the Jubilee Bridge in 1960, whatever. You can tell I'm not a historian, and you can also tell I didn't Google that before I came out on this walk. But this is called Whig Island, which is a nature reserve. Just over in the distance there, we'll show you that a little bit closer later on. That's called the Mersey Gateway, because the traffic was becoming too much for that bridge, because Runcorn's got good links to Liverpool and Manchester, and people getting out to go to work. It was just a nightmare, and if anything happened on the bridge, the whole town would be gridlocked. So they opened up that in 2017, and true to form, everyone in Runcorn moaned about it, because that's what people around here tend to do. I told you before that Runcorn gets criticised a lot, mostly by people who live here, which is a bit annoying, because, you know, I'm not going to lie, it's not the most exciting town in the world. There's not tons to do. All right, mate, I'm just vlogging. There's no Facebook, Phil and Ali. Bit early for dogging, isn't it? Oh, right, you actually are dog walking. Okay. Yes, I expect no less. See you later. Ta-ra. The mates Phil and Ali. I thought they were pulling over to give me a bit of grief because they thought I was filming them. Anyway, there's one magpie. So I don't know what you do if you see one magpie. I always say, whatever time of day it is. So now it's evening time. Good evening, your lordship. How's your ladyship? Because I'm a bit weird like that. So now it's getting a bit windy. So what I've brought with me, which is charged, is my microphone. So I'm going to put the microphone on and make sure that you can still hear me. So back in a sec. Right, here we go again. I'm now fully mic'd up. So just over in the distance there, that is, not the distance, it's only about 50 yards away, you pothead. That's the Mersey estuary, that's the Mersey, flows in from the mouth of the River Mersey, is about, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 miles that way. Liverpool just over there in the distance. The Mersey flows through here. It's beautiful down here this time of year. But any time of year, when the sun's out, it's a nice place to be. Yeah, so it flows here, and it actually goes, believe it or not, it actually goes through to Manchester from there. Yeah. So yeah, Mersey Gateway was opened in 2017. everyone moaned about it. I mean, it was a bit naughty because they said when they opened it, they said it was going to be free to cross. But then when they started doing it, this is down to the Tories, I believe. A lot of people whinge about the Labour Council round here because, I mean, they're not the best. But they say they're corrupt and all that. But anyway, that's for another podcast. Vlog. Even, yeah, so they were told when they put the plans forward, it was all part of that levelling up or Northern Powerhouse, wherever George Osborne called it. So they're going to put a new crossing in to open up, more transport links to Runcorn, make it more accessible and bring more business and whatever else in. But then once they started building it in about 2011, 12, whatever, then after a couple of years of that, they said, "Oh no, sorry, we've got to charge." They brought a private company in, and then all of a sudden said they have to start charging for it. So it costs a couple of quid. In fact, the prices have just gone up. It's more source of misery for people in Runcorn. So it's a couple of quid a crossing, and it is a bit of a nightmare. We're okay where we live because we get like a residence pass. We pay 10 quid a year, or maybe 11 quid now, and you can go over as much as you want. But other people, you've got to pay by midnight. There's like a couple of signs on either side of the bridge that says go to the Mersey Gateway to pay for it, and I think they do that on purpose because a lot of people, my sister included, my sister's moved from Runcorn to Manchester, and she's probably paid for that for that bridge herself because it's just so easy. It's easy to miss what you've got to do to pay, and it's easy to forget as well because you don't get any reminders. And you think with all this bloody modern technology, they'd find a way to send you a little teletext and just to give you a reminder. But again, these bloody corporate powerhouses. Yeah, so again, my history of this place is very limited, but there's little pieces of wood sticking out the ground there. I'm sure that would have been some kind of jetty. But actually, Runcorn, so yeah, going back to a bit of history about Runcorn, although now it is just an industrial town, but it used to be a bit of a holiday destination for people living in Liverpool. Probably the people who had the money in Liverpool were the slave merchants. And Runcorn was a bit of they had a nice promenade and stuff, so people would come to escape from the big city. You never have a weekend in Runcorn, which you'd never dream of doing now, I suppose. But yeah, that's what it started off as, and then as time went on, and Liverpool became more and more populated with people from Ireland, the West Indies, as well as a big West Indian community in Liverpool. I don't know if it was, I don't know if Windrush went all over the country. I guess it was the Windrush. I don't know, was it a scheme where they brought people over from the West Indies to help basically rebuild the country after the Second World War, and then very controversially in the mid tens, 2014, 15, whatever, something like that. Theresa May, that would have been 17 then. Anyway, yeah, she decided to start deporting people. It was disgusting, really, what they've done. But anyway, I digress. Any opportunities to start having a go at the Tories, I do often take it. But yeah, so Liverpool became kind of overcrowded, or not overcrowded as such, became expensive to live. So they built what they called a new town in Runcorn. So they really expanded the area, and they built a lot of new housing estates. Castlefield being one of them, which is called that because, believe it or not, Runcorn's actually got a castle. Who'd have thought that? And it was all surrounded by fields. And Runcorn used to be, it's quite a rural, an agricultural area. There we go, just to prove that I'm at Wig Island. Yeah, it's quite an agricultural area. So there was a lot of farming of crops, and the place was all just fields. But then, obviously, the people of Liverpool came in and changed all that. But yeah, they just built a load of council houses on a lot of the land and brought people in from Liverpool. They opened up a lot of industrial trading estates, places like YKK. Do the zips. There's a Bass Shandy or Bass Sherrington brewery, which is gone now. That's an O2 site, which is also gone. The building's still there, but O2's shut down. Yeah, Guinness, I may have mentioned that, and loads of other little industrial units and stuff. So everyone had work that came over here, and it was really nice for people to come from Liverpool to live in, that were living in the centre of the city. They could come and live in what was a rural area, get work, get a nice house for relatively cheaply or get it from the council, rent it from the council. Yeah, and it was the source of a lot of resentment, to be honest. I remember, I mean, the reason I'm in Runcorn is because my mum and dad were from Liverpool. They didn't meet in Liverpool, they actually met in Runcorn. But yeah, we were part of the overspill generation. And when I first came, my mum and dad were already here. I was born in 1972. And in the mid 70s to early 80s, there was a lot of trouble in Runcorn. There was always like the locals, or woolly-backs, as they call it. No, I'm a woolly-back as well, to be fair. And then all the people from the new town. And there was a place called Halton Brook, which is kind of in the middle of the two. And there was loads of trouble, like loads of scrapping between the locals and the Scousers. And it was pretty grim for a while. A lot of people still talk about it now. You go on these local Facebook forums, somebody was basically calling us scum, like you've come to Runcorn and ruined it. So even though that was like over 50 years ago, there is still a fair bit of resentment, which is a shame, because can't we all just get along? But then they're the same people who are whinging about the boats and all that, so it's the kind of people they are. So yeah, my arm's killing now, so I'm going to put this down for a second. There's two fellas approaching me that think I'm filming them for one of those paedophile hunter videos, so I'm going to stop and I'll see you back in a second. So just that little bird watching stop, or twitching stop, as the bird watchers call it, because they're known as twitchers. You get a perfect view over the Mersey and to the Mersey Gateway Bridge. So I'm going to show you lucky people that right now. There you go. I'm not really sure how much you can pick up on the camera because of the light, but that's the Mersey Gateway. A shot of the Mersey estuary over there. So over in the distance there, let me zoom back out again so you can see a bit clearer. That's Spike Island, which people of a certain age that are into their indie music may remember. It was a site of a really famous now, or iconic, gig by the Stone Roses over on Spike Island, just over there. Just walking through the woods, getting pretty busy around here. And I was just in the distance there, you can just see a car park. I did mention jokingly to Phil and Ali if they'd been down here dogging, but apparently, I wouldn't know, that's a bit of a dogging site. So if you come here late on at night and flash your headlights, you might get in luck. God knows what you'd pick up. Well, I've got an idea what you'd pick up, and you'd probably have to get it sorted in the clinic. Anyway, apparently it's a dogging site. I was just walking through Wig Island. I don't know, again, this isn't a history lesson because I don't know the first thing about it, but it's called Wig Island, which has become a bit of a nature reserve. Apparently there's two birds here, but not in the dogging site, right? But yeah, so it's quite, I think it's protected by, you know what, I've probably just made that up and I don't have a clue. But yeah, it's pretty nice around here. It's just nice because the weather's been so grim over the last few weeks. As soon as the sun comes out, you feel like you've got to get out and get a bit of fresh air. And I need to lose some weight because I'm going back to Benidorm in a few weeks. Apologies for the terrible camera work. I was hoping this bloody thing would work, but stupidly, I didn't charge it up. I've hardly used it, I say, because it's a bit big. Yeah, kaput. Looking forward to giving it a go. Yeah, it's a bit big to carry around. If you just want to go out boozing and stuff, it looks like a weapon or something. Actually, you'd probably use down on that dogging site. So yeah, Runcorn in the 70s was a bit of a mad place. Apologies for the terrible camera work. I realise that most of the time you're just staring at my face, and you can see me rosacea, which is a posh word for pimples on my chin, cheek even. I don't have a chin, that's why I grow a beard. I look terrible with a beard, just like that. So yeah, but yeah, it's kind of settled down a bit now. As I mentioned before, there's people go in those forums and have a pop of people who moved here. But, it's all a bit sad, isn't it, really? Anyway, there you go. For those of you that used to say, "Afraid around here it's all just fields," look, you've still got a field. Stop whinging. Yeah, I'm gonna face you around the other way, so you can have a look at this field and some trees in all its splendour. God bless you if you're still watching, by the way. Thank you if you have subscribed to the channel. I'm trying to keep it varied, but you see, like, if there's any YouTubers watch this, give me a bit of advice. You see a lot of people saying that you've got to have like a not not so much a niche, but you've got to have a theme for your channel, and you can't like diversify too much from it because it'll confuse people. But I do so many different things that it's hard just to narrow it down, because you see people that, you know, the majority of the time they're going out on nights out and going to Benidorm. They're the ones that I absolutely love, and I do that as well. But I also run comedy nights, so I like to show them. I like to showcase them. It's good to advertise them, and I go to watch Liverpool quite a lot. So my vlogs are about that. I also like to do a bit of cooking. So I don't know whether, because it's mad with YouTube, because there's loads of people that give advice. There's people that just have channels designed to help people that want to become YouTubers, which are great. But sometimes they'll tell you opposite things. I'm trying to put my gimbal in my pocket because my arm is absolutely killing me. I want to swap arms. Oh, that is so much better. Yeah, so one person will tell you to do something one way, and then you watch another video and they'll say, whatever you do, don't do what that last person's just told you. So it's hard. But I guess all you can do really is figure it out for yourself. I dread to think that other than bird watching, what has gone on that bench on a Friday night with all these bloody youngsters. But yeah, it actually is a better look of the Mersey Gateway. Just there. Yeah, it is loads better since that opened up. The traffic is loads better. Sometimes you still get a bit snarled up on there if there's a crash in that. But it's a lot better. But the problem is, because of the tolls, people don't come to Runcorn. Not that many people did anyway, because there's not really a great deal here. But, you know, we don't get anybody that's not from Runcorn coming here. Everything's over in Widnes, which again is another bone of contention. They've got a big shopping centre there with like a Next and an M&S and a Next and an M&S and a River Island, who bizarrely make extra large clothes in skinny fit, which is odd. But yes, it has kind of been abandoned a little bit, which is a shame, because why would you pay to come here when you can just go to Widnes or whatever, and you've got loads of good stuff over there. So yeah, but there is some good stuff going on in Runcorn. I don't want to sound biased, but they have got a good comedy night, which is one of the ones that I run, of course. So yeah, so back to the YouTube thing. And again, if you are enjoying this and you like my stuff and you haven't subscribed yet, then please just consider subscribing. I'm just kind of finding a way around it. A lot of people like the people who have got a lot of time for. A guy there's By the Curb, James Court from By the Curb, who's got a new channel called Behind the Curb. He's a really successful YouTuber. He's only been doing it a couple of years, but he's obviously hit on a really good formula because he's doing really, really well. And his videos are him and his, sometimes him on his own, but a lot of times with his girlfriend Helen. They just seem like really nice people, and they just go in on weekends away, having a few drinks, bit of food. James lives in a van. That sounds awful, doesn't it? But he converted his van a few years ago. He decided to kind of, get free from having a mortgage and rent and whatever else. Yeah. There's other people like Yorkshire Lee, Jeff Carter. Going off on a tangent here. But yeah, but you see all those guys, they've done loads of videos, and they say it takes you about 100 videos to kind of get any good at it. And there's quite a formula to like thumbnails and titles and stuff like that. You've got to be careful with clickbait. And I'm learning all of that. And I think, this video aside, I don't know what you're going to think of this one, that my videos are getting a lot better. A bit more, a lot more content to them. Thumbnails are very good. I think you'll find, I hope anyway. Yeah, so I'm just kind of finding my way through it, because I'd love to do it. I'd love to start making some money from it, get monetized, and just do what some of the other guys are doing, because it just seems like an amazing life. The thing I like about it most, there's also the green team as well. So I don't know if they'll see this, but Alan from the green team, me and Jen, who you would have seen on some of the other videos, we were in Benidorm at the beginning of March, and we bumped into them, and they were so nice. Alan was giving me lots of tips and advice, because they've got like a few thousand subscribers. They're doing really well. But unfortunately, at the moment, he's not very well. I don't know what exactly he's suffering with, but I've seen his wife, lovely wife Michelle, who's also really nice, put a post on the other day saying he's not been feeling too well. So I hope he's doing okay. But it's just ordinary people like James and Helen, Yorkshire Lee and Neil. Yorkshire Lee seems like such a great lad. I'd love to meet him one day. Hopefully we will. And Jeff Carter, the Matt Master. There's loads. Walk With Me Tim is really successful. They're just ordinary people who've managed to find a bit of find a gap in the market, if you like, got on YouTube, now creating their own content and doing really, really well. So it's accessible to everyone, and there's a formula to it which I'm trying to learn. So pretty much anyone can do it, and I want that to be me. So going back to what I don't know, I've gone on tangents, don't I? Jen goes mad. Yeah, just like basically trying, if you get the chance, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and just enjoy what I'm doing. Leave comments as well. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know if you live in Runcorn, what you think of it, or what your kind of perception of it. Because a lot of people, if you've heard of it, you will just think it's just some kind of gritty industrial town, or you think it was that place there where they filmed 2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps, which of course they did. And I think I might have been in one of those episodes once in the background in a nightclub called the Bank Chambers, which is a interesting place to say the least. But look how nice it is down here now. Beautiful, isn't it? Look at my rosy cheeks there. The pinkish hue. Rosacea. That's what I was talking about before. I don't know where I went. See what I mean? So just go off on tangents. It's why I'm perfect to be a YouTuber, because I can come up with content at the drop of a hat. I can just talk rubbish into my camera. But yeah, I'm going to go back in a minute because it's Tuesday. There's football on tonight. Liverpool aren't playing because unfortunately Liverpool got knocked out of the Champions League, so they're not in that now. Arsenal are playing Real Madrid, so I'm going to watch that and make me tea. And I'm going to swap again because my arm's really killing. I'm going to put this down for 1 sec. Right, I've switched arms. But yeah, I'm just walking along here. So I really should brush up on this. Maybe I'll do another video one day. I'll brush up on the history of this place, let you know what this road's for. So I know it did because this is just on through there. You can't see it. Excuse me, I've got hay fever. Is the Manchester Ship Canal, which runs from Liverpool right the way through to Manchester. Believe it or not. So there's like a bit of a dockside down there, and you can cycle right the way through, which I do. Sometimes I haven't done it for a while. I like to get out on my bike, and you can cycle right the way around along here, back on the other side of the Mersey Estuary, past a lovely pub actually called the Ferry Tavern, which is like really old, kind of historic pub right on the banks of the Mersey, which does amazing food and lovely pies. Yeah, and there's loads of places where you can see that would have been like a loading bay for a ship at one point. So I will brush up on a bit of history if you're interested and let you know what it's all about. There's a couple of hoodlums coming now that look like they might nip my phone off me, but I'm tough, so I'm not going to let them. Yeah, they are heading towards me, so I might put my phone away, and then yeah, they're definitely eyeing me up. So hopefully I'll be able to finish this video and it won't be finished off by a couple of ne'er-do-wells. Anyway, in a bit. Right, I feel terrible now because it's just a couple of really nice old fellas out on a bike ride, and there's me judging. What am I like, me? But yeah, I'm gonna might turn around in a second because I want to go home and have me tea. How many steps have I done? Not nearly enough yet. And I've been trying to go to the gym because I think again I might have mentioned I'm going on holiday, or I might not. I don't know. That's why one of the reasons I wanted to come out and go for a walk, because I'm going away back to Benidorm in July with Jen for a week. We went in the beginning of March. I wasn't feeling too well, and then Jen wasn't, and the weather was pretty crap. So I thought, right, we're coming back in July, but it's going to be nice and hot. So yeah, if you enjoy Benidorm or you've never been, you want to have a look at what it's like, excuse me, go back and have another look, or have a look at some of the videos. They're just called Benidorm Volume 1, 2 and 3. Or there's another one just called Benidorm, the Marmite Holiday Destination, I think, which is all three combined together. Just go and have a look and see what you can get up to there, because it gets a bit of a bad rep, Benidorm, largely from people who haven't been. But it is good. It's really cheap to get there. Hotels are cheap. The food and drink is ridiculously cheap. You can literally have whatever type of holiday you want. You've got all the British bars. If you just want to go drinking all day, cheap beer, cheap wine and alcohol shots and all that, you can do that. If you want to go and get a little bit of culture, you can go. The old town's really nice. There's places like Altea, Albia, Calpe, I think it's called, and Alicante aren't that far away, and they are stunning. So yeah, that's why we like to go there quite a lot. So you have to check out our other videos. I've mentioned before about all the different stuff that I do. I do the comedy nights. I've got some videos of that. Just go and have a little look. I'm just trying to build up a decent channel, give people something to have a bit of a laugh at. There's some poor guy, I think a young lad a few years ago, crashed his bike, I think, and passed away. There's a bit of a shrine to him there. So yeah, go and have a look. Check out our other vids. There'll be two that come up on the end of the screen. So click on that one or that one. And then again, if you could be so kind to consider subscribing, that would be magnificent. So if you've made it to the end of this video, I'll be quite interested to see the stats of how many people did make it this far. Thank you so much, and enjoy your evening, and I will see you on the next one, which will be out sometime soon when I've thought about what I'm going to do. See ya.